Lanola Adebayo, you are the first one here again. Shegun Fatumo. Laulu Fumi Jaboda. Eric Lindu. Nkiro Jimadu, Justin Mayo, Kennedy Festus, Daniel Atsenga, Fumi Onifade, Demidenka Yuri, Olukayode, Fumilayo Agape, Elizabeth, Jake Oke, Paul Oriade, Obi Ojimadu, Bose Fayajola, Oluwatoyin Bidemi, T.Y. Moore, Bola Luro, good morning, everyone. Good morning, welcome. Okay, today is the birthday of Ladon Adebayo. Hi, Nalon. Wow, you've been one of the most constant and consistent persons on this platform, and we want to use the opportunity to congratulate you and wish you a very wonderful birthday. Happy birthday to you. You are just like a month apart from your wife's birthday, right? And so we want to tell you that your family here, your family on this platform are joining you, and we are congratulating you, wishing you a heavenly experience here on earth, that God's teachings that are coming to you and this truth that you are receiving from here will transform you into a form of Superman, a form of super individual, super God's representative in all things, that the nature of God will reflect in your life and through you, and that you will become a leading ambassador of the kingdom in your generation, and that your voice will be heard throughout the earth. Oh, I also heard that today is also the birthday of Shidima and Rochelle White. Wow. Rochelle, is that your birthday as well? And Shidima? Okay, Rochelle White. It's been interesting that you are not the only one who's been coming from New Zealand, but you are the most consistent, you are the most constant, you are the most hungry person that we know from New Zealand. And unfortunately, I don't think you saw me when I came to New Zealand, but God decided to introduce you to me through this platform, me to you through this platform. So I want to tell you that you are a family, Rochelle, and if you don't mind, if your family will let you go, maybe I have to take you to Africa with me now, because we are so used to you now, and you are such a member of the family that it's going to be unimaginable to go to Africa without you. But I want to use this opportunity to congratulate you and to say that we are with you over there, even though in the body we're here, but we are celebrating this birthday with you over there. And so we're giving you a beautiful hug and a wonderful congratulatory message that this truth will come out of your mouth, Rochelle, and will reach out to your nation. And that God will use you to be that light that will bring deliverance, that will bring healing, and that will bring the voice of hope to your nation. In Jesus' name. Shindima as well, I want to use the opportunity I think Shindima is not too long on our platform, but we want to use the opportunity to welcome you and to this family and say you have been accepted, you have been received here, and that you could strike friendship with a lot of people on this platform, and they will be right there for you at all time. faithfully caring for you and looking and watching after you. And I hope that through these messages, God has been doing just that to you. So we release God's blessings, God's grace, and God's favor upon you, Shidima, and upon every other person that is having their birthday today. So a big hug to all of you. A big hug. A big all and much love. God bless you guys. Now, it's about time to start. So let's go ahead and share our link right now. Because, yesterday I got a letter in my inbox from Edwin Amimi saying they cannot enter, they cannot find me, they cannot find my live program. So they did not realize that I had moved from that platform. And I wonder why. I was surprised. I thought the announcement is there on the other page, but still people are not so careful enough. People are not so detailed enough to see the announcement that we cannot come out there. So they are not following. I don't know, maybe it's because of their form of telephone they are using or the device they are using. Maybe that's why they couldn't find us. But that's why I said, if you know anybody that was coming here before and has not been here with us, I also want to say that we should go ahead and invite them. Let's go ahead to invite all these people that that could have been here, so that they will know we're here, and so that they will be able to join us. So, okay. Elizabeth is saying today is our son's birthday as well. Wow! In Jesus' name, we release the grace of God upon that child. That the anointing of Pastor Sunday, maybe greater anointing, will come upon him. I remember when I was 4 years old, I was a troublemaker. If you read my biography, you'll find out I was such a troublemaker, it was bad news. Nobody ever thought that I could become the person I was. I was like a bandit, small bandit, like a small hooligan. But, God turned that all around. And the glory of God is being manifested now. I pray that the same destiny will come to your son in the name of Jesus. So, okay, let's go ahead and share the link. And, don't forget to write some remarks and some comments on the link as you share it, and encourage people to come. I'm going to talk about, I keep on talking this week about what we started already, talking about what every woman desires to see in their husband or in their future husband. And today's message is what every woman wants to see in a man. What every woman wants to see in a man. Okay, now before I start today, I want to start with a testimony. I don't know if it is appropriate to mention the name of the person, but I think I will not mention the name. I got a letter today, this early morning, from a lady who has not been following us because she is based in Nigeria, and people in Nigeria have a challenge with their database, and so they cannot always join us because I think it's going to be too expensive for them. But this lady, I think she has a fiancé, and maybe a friend or a boyfriend, maybe a husband. I think boyfriend in the U.S., I suppose, because she said that East time is about 2:30 East time. So that is US for sure. It's 2:30 in the morning. And this lady she's so ecstatic and she's so excited. So what I'm trying to say is that, there have been changes. These teachings have been bringing blessing to people. And, I've been concerned about the men. And some of us too have been concerned about the men, that the men have not been active, they've not been commenting too much, even though a few of them have commented and said they are going to act. And I just want to come back with a testimony to let you know that some of them have started acting. Because this lady, she is writing me from Nigeria, and she's so ecstatic and she's so excited, and she is saying that she cannot recognize her man anymore, and that, you know, this is just a week. This thing has been going on just for a week, but she she said every time this man finishes listening to me, he calls her, tells her all the things that he has learned from me in the morning and in the evening, even though it's 2:30 in the morning his time, and he still needs to go to work most likely the next day. But this man would take his time and talk to the fiancé, and this girl is so happy and she's so excited. She believes in the change that is happening to him. That that he's asking for forgiveness, he's repenting, he's changing, and he's treating her differently, and that she has never seen it so good. And that she had never known that a man could treat a woman like that. Just in a week, guys. And I just want to appreciate that man. I want to appreciate that man, and I want to say thank God, and we pray that we'll have more of such men here who will actually take this teaching seriously, and not just be hearers of the teachings, but who will actually become doers of the teachings. And there's nothing better than if your wife, normally wives and partners are always criticizing. Women, they are your biggest critics. But if this lady is even writing me to thank me for her husband or boyfriend, and she's seeing so much change in him, and writing me so excited, so happy. And I just want to say, whoever that guy is, that, kudos to you. And I want to hear such a testimony from every man on this platform, and from your wives, from your families. I think that's the biggest testament to the fact that the work I'm doing is worth it, and to the fact that my efforts are not in vain. And there's no other way for me to know that you men are receiving these teachings other than when your families and your family members, especially your wives, come back and say, yes, Pastor Sunday, we are testifying. So it's not just the men themselves who are saying we are changing or things are different, but when their wives now are the ones coming back to say, what have you done to my wife, to my husband? What has happened to my husband? I can't recognize him. He's so nice. He's like Jesus now. So this lady, she actually said before she was thinking of being happy in the marriage, maximum to the tune of 70% happiness in a marriage. That was how the best she was expecting of joy and happiness in a marriage. But now she actually put it in figure, and she said, now I'm for 1 week, only after 1 week, through the way this guy has behaved and has been treating her totally different, that she is thinking that she's already reached, after 1 week, from 70% of joy and happiness to 90%, that she's already 90% sure of her joy and happiness and success in marriage. 90%. Can you imagine that? That she's going to have 90% of joy and fulfillment already after 1 week of the husband or the fiancé listening to this teaching. So, what could be better than that? I just want to remove my heart for that guy. I think the guy should know himself if he's here today. And I just want to appreciate him that, he's putting in effort. Some people come here to argue with me. Some people come here to say, Pastor, this is too hard. It's not our culture. We don't agree with you and all that. The women are this, the women are not as good. Go and be teaching them. Go and be correcting them. It is the women that are to blame. It is the women that must change. Why don't you change them? Why don't you break them? Why don't you do that to them? Talk to the women, not us. We are okay. Some men are doing that, but it's a pity that men will behave like that. And that shows pride, as far as I'm concerned. That only exhibits pride. But this other guy that they are talking about, is my pride. It shows me that he's a serious guy. And, I'm really very proud of him. I'm really, really very proud of him. And maybe if he's here now, maybe he wants to let you people know him. Maybe he's proud of himself too. If he's proud of himself, maybe he should write so that we will all celebrate him. And if he knows himself, anybody any person who that person is and who knows himself might want to let us know so that we will rejoice with him. And so that other men will be able to go to him and learn from him. Or maybe even the women might want to send their men to him so that they will, the Bible says we should provoke each other to jealousy, that we should provoke each other. So Jefferson is saying, Pastor, who could this be? Let me look if there is a name there. Let me look if there is a name, there is a name. I can't remember the name of the guy, but let me see the letter. I'm going to look at the letter again now. I don't know if you wrote the name. Daniel Atsenga is saying, I am not the one for sure. At least Daniel knows that he's not the one. He's speaking the truth. That I'm not the one, though. Okay. Is she saying, okay, yeah. The name of the guy, the name of the guy is Jeff. So, and the name of the girl is IJ, I think, and Ija or IJ. But the name of the guy is Jeff. So if you people know who Jeff is, maybe it's Jefferson. Jefferson Uzoma. Let us celebrate Jefferson. Let us celebrate Jefferson. And if you have any challenge with your fiance or with your wife, I mean with your husband or with your fiance, Jefferson said it is me. Okay, he says she set me up. So we all know who to go for consultation now if we have challenges. So we know who to go to now. So we have got to go and look for Jefferson to help other men have the victory. So Jefferson, you are going to be the one to be helping us to adopt this teaching. You are making it possible for us to know that it is real to live this way. Not just Pastor Sunday can live this way, but that every man can actually practice it. And because Jefferson is in America, so I'm sure he's the one, because she's talking about him not sleeping at 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning every day, never goes to bed, just to be able to learn some things, to be able to become a better man and be able to go back to his fiancée and treat her like a real lady. So, and he's paying the price for him to become a better man and a better husband. Yes, Jefferson is writing and say, yes, sir, my changes are landmark changes. Yes, so because you are ready to change, because you are willing to change, you are not resisting the change, you are not protesting the teaching, you are not trying to fight off the arguments with your own arguments, or trying to say, go and change the woman, I don't need to change. But because you are open to change, so God is, now the fruit is already out. Jefferson said, I'm surprised at myself, sir. It's shocking. I can't even recognize myself anymore. Well, that is what openness could do. That is what openness could do. That is what openness could do. And Bosse is saying, Jefferson is a man, not a boy. Now we know that Jefferson is truly ready for marriage. Glory to God. Now, yeah, that's a good start. That is a good place to start. That's a good place to start. Wonderful, wonderful, Wonderful. You really make this worth it. You make it worthwhile. Now, guys, if you have not shared your link, the message, please let's go ahead and spread the word. Write your own comments, write your own remark, and let's quickly go and share the message. You know what? I've only spoken about how many points? I've only, spoken about 5 points or 6 points or 5 points. And you know how many points I still have left? I have altogether 30 points. I have 30 points altogether. And that 30 points, that's only in chapter 1 of one of my books. But I've spoken, of course, this is, I've spoken about, I think I've already spoken for more than 2 or 3 or 5 books already. And I still have 30 more points left. 30 more points left of what ladies would like to see in their husbands or in their mind. So today, what I plan to do between now and Monday, because the men are so nervous and they want me to begin to speak about the women too, what the women need to do and how the women need to change. So since they want me to begin to talk about the men, I will not continue to next week. I will next week start a new series about the women and about what the women need to do or how they need to change before they get married. But so as a result of that, I'm going to, instead of doing a lot of examples and going into much details, what I'm going to do is that before all these 2 days or 3 days, I've been giving 1 point per program, 1 point per program. What I'm going to try to do now is to give 5 points per program till Monday. Between now and Monday, I'll be giving 5 points each. So today, I want to try and rush it and give 5 points, okay? So, the topic, as I said today, is what the topic today is what every woman wants to see in a man. What every woman wants to see in a man. Number one, of course, I'm not going back to what I already spoke about, but just from today, number one other thing, apart from what we already spoke about these 2-3 days, one other thing that a woman wishes to see in a man is faithfulness. Every woman is expecting that the man that she marries will prove to her that she is the only lady, not just in his life, but she's the only lady in the world. Even though we men, we know, that, and even the women themselves know that they are definitely not the only ladies in the world. They have girlfriends, they have sisters, they have mother. They know that they are not the only one, but it is only worth it for them to commit themselves to one man and to a life of marriage only if that man will make them to feel that they are special and unique. So for you to commit to even approach a lady, please, gentlemen, make sure that you can tell yourself that as far as I'm concerned, as this lady, she is the only woman in the world. She's the only princess in the world. Of course, there are other women, but to me, she is my queen. She is my princess. She is above, head and shoulder above all other women. She is unique. She is like nobody else. She is in a class of her own. A woman needs to see that. A woman needs to be sure that you are as committed to her. So you must ask yourself before you go out or you go and approach a lady, you must ask yourself, can I be faithful and committed just to her? Can I, keep my word to her? Is she good enough for me? Am I so happy with her? Am I so satisfied with this lady so much that I will not be willing to change her or I will not be hoping to change her sooner or later, that I will only make her the center of my life and the focus of my attention. So if you are not sure that you can make this lady the center of your life and the focus of your attention, then it's better just not to start. It's better not to go and talk to her. Every woman wants to be a princess in her own world. Every woman wants to feel and be sure she's the only one, that there is no other person that is competing with her place, that there is no other person that is, looking to take her place, or that is competing with her. Even the very sense that there is any other woman that could be competing with her already destroys her confidence. Even though if she might be better than the other woman, even though she might be more beautiful than the other woman, or she might be, more attractive than the other woman, or she might be better behaved than the other woman. But if she notices that her husband is paying attention to another person, that just kills her morale. That just makes her to think that she's horrible and that she's worse than any other woman. Not just worse than that particular woman, but she'll begin to think that she's worse than any other woman in the world. That she'll be thinking that she's the only unfortunate lady in the whole world. So before you go ahead to marry a woman, make sure you can tell yourself that yes, I'm ready to commit to this lady and to her alone, and that there are no other women out there. For me, as far as I'm concerned, there are no more women out there. There are only ladies out there. There are only friends out there, or mothers out there, sisters out there, but not a woman in sense of of intimacy, that she is the only one, and I'm going to prove that to her every day. Now, it is not enough for you to be faithful as a husband to her, but it's even more. What is more important than you being faithful to her is that you let her know about that all the time. You see, I don't know if it's the same thing with the Africans, but with the Europeans here, one of the things that European ladies always demand from their husbands is that the husband should always tell them, I love you, I love you. A woman wants to hear that word, I love you, every day. Even though the men sometimes will say, but I love you. Now, if I didn't love you, I would not have approached you, or I would not have married you. But even though she knows that you love her, you married him, and you love, she knows that you married her and you love her, but still she needs that assurance. Every woman wants to be the only woman in a man's life. Every woman wants to be sure that there is no other woman that is competing for her place. So as a man, when you make a decision to marry a woman, make sure that decision is for life. And it doesn't matter what happens after that. Make sure you are forever committed to her, and that, nothing will change that decision. I have said it over and over again. I don't care what happens to my wife. Either she puts on weight, or she loses weight, or she becomes old or young. I don't care what happens. I am not ready to change my wife for any other woman. I'm not ready to get married to any other person. She's going to be my only woman, my only wife for the rest of my life. And, I say even things that some people might not understand. I've told her this, I've told my own church this, that even if I find my wife with a man, even with 10 men, even with 100 men, I don't care. I have given her my word that she's my wife, that I love her. One day I told her I love you, and I would never leave her. Even if she leaves me, I will still keep on loving her anyway. So, it's a matter of decision. I think every man must come to that place where you are not even thinking, you are not giving, the possibility or the thought, any chance that she might, you might want to divorce her, or you might want to leave her alone. So once you have made up your mind that you are only, committed to this lady and she's the only woman in your life, once you have taken that decision, then, things are easier to resolve. And it doesn't matter what will happen. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if you fail or she fails or anything could happen. Things could happen in life. But that decision to be committed to that lady, it brings you balance, and it brings you back to equilibrium. And it helps you to resolve your issues and your problems. Because this family is not falling apart. This marriage is not going anywhere. This lady is going to be in my life for the rest of my life. She's going to be my wife forever. I have committed. We men must learn to be like God. And what does God do? God gives his word once and for all, and his word is established in heaven forever and ever. So once you give your word to a lady, learn to make sure to be like God, that word is forever established in heaven. Now, with my own experience of 50 years old, I know that anything could happen in life, but it shouldn't. Not anything that happens in life shouldn't change your decision. At least you should make sure that your decision remains, that you are still faithful to that commitment that you gave to that lady in the first instance, in the very first time. Another thing that I've discovered from my own experience is that betrayal could happen, not just sex. In our world today, we only talk about betrayal in terms of sexual relationship. So we think that we should be faithful to a woman or to a man in that we shouldn't sleep with another person, which is true, but there might be other forms of unfaithfulness as well. There might be other forms of betrayal also. For me, personally, I think that we see a lot of betrayals and unfaithfulness happening left and right on a daily basis with the way we relate to our people, to our ladies and wives. For example, if a man wanted to marry a girl and is begging her, promising her heaven and earth, and telling her, I will love you, you will be my princess, you will be my queen, you will be everything to me, and then he marries her, and now, after he's already made her his wife, he begins to control her. She can no more talk. She doesn't have any opinion. It turns around from saying you are going to have this and that, you are going to become this and that, from making her feel she's going to, have a great life and she's going to be respected and honored. Before she committed, now that she's committed and she's entered the marriage, the men begin to treat the lady very bad. Not just not giving her any honor or respect, but pushing her down and controlling her and breaking her spirit and making her unhappy. For me, I think that is also betrayal. And that kind of betrayal might even be worse than sex sometimes. Because sex, sometimes, even though sex is as bad and it's sin and it's adultery and it's horrible, but we don't just, some people, okay, what men say is this: at least I'm not betraying you, I'm not having another man, I'm another woman, you are my wife, I'm committed to you, I'm faithful to you. But so the fact that they are not sleeping with another woman, they are thinking that is their, they are so great or they are so good because I'm not sleeping with another woman. What else do you need? What else do you want? Since I'm not sleeping with another woman, you should be happy. You should be satisfied. But apart from you not sleeping with another woman or not going out with another woman, you have betrayed her feelings. You have betrayed her expectations. You have betrayed your promise to her. If you have promised to her that you will honor her, you will always respect her, and now she cannot even go to the shop without you giving her permission. She cannot even go to church without you giving her permission. She cannot even go to across the street without you asking her, who gave you permission, where did you go, who told you, without you scolding her, rebuking her, and chastising her. It's like she's betrayed. That this is not what we negotiated for. We didn't agree for this, that I will become a slave. So by changing your word, or by changing your commitment, and by betraying our expectation, that is also betrayal. And that form of betrayal might even be worse than physical betrayal sometimes. Because sometimes the woman will say, it's better for you not to have married me. It's better for you not to have committed to me than to be treating me this way. So treatment also, it could be betrayal. So let's see betrayal as a holistic thing. Betrayal could be in the way we treat. For example, there are some men that they will say the wife doesn't have a reason to divorce because there is no adultery in the family. So that the Bible says you can only divorce because of adultery. But on the other hand, this man is beating the woman, physically beating her. This man is about to kill the woman. She's, maybe there's domestic abuse, and maybe she goes to the hospital to be treated, and then and maybe even some pastors are saying she cannot leave. So when will she leave? When she's killed? I think that if any man is abusing a woman, either physically, mentally, or morally, or psychologically, or emotionally, that is also betrayal. Any form of abuse is already betrayal. It's already betrayal because, you didn't bargain with her that you are going to beat her. That is also unfaithfulness. You are not faithful to her. And that means you are not faithful to your word that you gave to her. You are not faithful to your commitment to her. You are not faithful. You promise to take care of her. You promise that she will never suffer. You promise that you will always look after her. But now you are breaking her. You are humiliating her. You are damaging her. And you say you are still faithful, or you are not committing adultery. That might be worse than adultery, because that is also unfaithfulness. So let's look at faithfulness as a holistic thing, because even this thing I'm going to say is not giving permission for adultery. But even adultery, the Bible says that anybody that commits adultery sins against himself, his flesh. But when a man commits an adultery, it's not written on the woman. Especially if she doesn't even know about it, it's not written on her that your husband is sleeping with another woman or something like that. She no mark on him or on her, because it's a sin against his own flesh. But when you beat her, that could be visible on her. That could be visible not just on her physically. That could be visible on her, on her inside, on her person, that could change or damage her identity forever. Adultery too, sleeping with another woman, could damage her personality forever. But the same way, the same effect, physical abuse could do, or not just physical abuse, even moral abuse. When you are humiliating the woman, when you are controlling her, when you are not giving her the freedom to be who she wants to become, when you are always telling her, I'm the head of the family, you must do this, you must do this, you must listen to me, you must do this. When you are, not fulfilling your word to her, when you don't provide for the family, when she cannot feed her. I remember when I was listening to, I think it was TY that was doing the video, that she didn't eat for 2 days or so, even though she had a lot of milk. But because she did not eat, and that the daughter or the son, after the baby would suck the milk, it was just a very sad story. So to take a woman and put her in such a situation that she would not even be able to feed her baby, no food to eat, so much that she's fainting, I don't know which kind of abuse could be worse than that. Whatever you did with another woman, that's your own problem. But this you are doing to her. Of course, what you did to another woman could also affect her mentally or psychologically, but this one is directly damaging her. So this also is unfaithfulness. You are not faithful to your commitment. You are not faithful to your vow. So both in the two cases, you are not faithful to your vow. So you are not faithful to your vow when you commit adultery, and you are not faithful to your vow when you don't commit adultery, but you are unfaithful to the, you mistreat her. When you mistreat her, you are unfaithful to your commitment as well. So, so the word betrayal should be re-examined. The word unfaithfulness must be re-examined by all of us. And we must know that you are betraying a woman when you fail to keep on to the promise that you promised her, to the word that you gave her. You are betraying a woman when, you deceive her. When you promise her one thing and then you do the opposite. When you, gave your word to her and then you rescind on that word, it's damaging to any woman. So that's number one. Now, today, so any form of abuse is not allowed. A woman, don't even marry. That's why I said 50% of people don't even have anything to do with marriage. People are not supposed to marry if you are not able, if you are not sure that you are going to be able to honor your wife and to respect her the very same way you were respecting her before you married her. If you are not going to keep that level of respect, if you are not going to keep that level of honor, if you are not going to be honoring and loving on her the way you did before you met her or before she agreed to live with you, please don't even go ahead with that marriage. Because, adultery is as bad as lying to her. Lying to her is as bad as adultery. Deceiving her is as bad as adultery. Manipulating and controlling her is as bad as adultery. Not keeping your word and promises to her is as bad as adultery. So in a woman's body, in a woman's psyche, you have betrayed her trust. You have betrayed her when you let her down in all these ramifications. So it's better not to even start a relationship if you cannot keep on respecting her, honoring her, and treating her with the same level of dignity that you were treating her before you married her. So that is number one. So women expect to see faithfulness and commitment from their husbands, from their men. Every woman expects a man to be faithful to her, to be committed to her, and to just keep to his word that he had given to her at the altar. So that I promise to give you 5 points today. So I'm going to move on. I'm not going to give too many examples here. Number 2 point that I want to give today, what every woman wants to see in a man. Every woman wants to see a man respect her. Respect and honor is another thing that every woman wants to see. You see, today, especially in our culture where we are coming from in Africa, we tend to think that it is only the man that needs respect and honor. We tend to think that it is only the man that needs honor and respect. But one of the ways you could love your wife is actually to respect and honor her. For example, when I met my wife, I so much respected her and respect her that for me, I decided that I would not call her by her name. Many people think that the name of my wife is Princess, but actually her name is not Princess. Her name is Bose. That is an African name that actually means Sunday, just like my name, but that's her name. But I can count it. I don't know, even if I will just say that I don't call her by her name. I feel is showing a sign of disrespect. I'm showing a sign of dishonor if I'm just calling her by her name as if she's just a girlfriend. For me, she's not my girlfriend. For me, she's more than my girlfriend. For me, she's my queen. For me, she's on the throne. She's a class on her own. For me, she's up there. So I don't see myself calling her just by a name like that. At least from the culture that I come from, if you respect somebody, you don't call them by their name or by their first name, just like that, casually. So I don't wish to call my, to treat my wife casually and just, anyhow. So that's why I said, instead of calling her by her name, I would rather call her by a pet name and give her, so I came out with the idea of calling her princess, because that's exactly my attitude. That is exactly how I feel towards her in my heart. I'm treating her and I'm feeling that to me, she's a princess. So I say anything you want, but it doesn't matter what she does. It doesn't matter how she behaves or whatever she has done wrong. For me, she will always be princess. There is a case that I heard recently when somebody said, they also decided to be using, to be calling themselves to be using respectful manner to each other. And then they were telling me, two of them, husband and wife, that's okay. When I'm angry at her, I call her by her name and I call her as you. I rebuke her and but when we're okay, when we have good relationship, then you will call ourselves by. No. It doesn't matter what she does. She should always be in that place of honor. Never remove her from that place of honor. And ladies need it. Don't tell me that ladies don't need to be respected. Ooh, they need to be respected. Especially women. Women need respect. I think they need as much respect as a man does. Maybe more. Because women have the problem of feeling themselves inferior. Women have the trouble of thinking that if anything is not right with them, to lose their self-esteem, self-image, and they could easily be demoralized. So for you to come against that demoralization and for you to support them that they would not be discouraged or demoralized, it will not hurt. It will rather be helpful if you help them hold their prestige and their sense of self-respect and self-esteem when you, who is closest to them, show that respect to them. When you show that respect and honor to them, it helps her self-image. It helps her self-worth. And I personally think that every man should find a way of relating to the wife with so much honor that she would know that it doesn't relate with me like any other woman, that it doesn't relate with me. What I've discovered is that in families, a lot of family members, they relate with respect to people outside, but to their own family members, they relate with disdain. They call themselves anyhow and anything, but to people outside, they do it with honor and respect. I think it's supposed to be the opposite. If you are going to be living with that man or that woman for the rest of your life, why don't you just show her honor and show her respect and honor to her on a daily basis? That does something in that house. That brings a kind of different understanding and atmosphere into the family instead of, just anyhow. Once you begin to allow yourself to relate casually to your spouse or to your wife, you know what? From casual name calling, it will go to abuse. It could go to raising of your voice. It could go to humiliating. It could go to abuse. It will just get worse. It will just get worse. So for it not to fall and get worse, just keep her up there. Just make sure that you keep her up there and you don't remove her from there. Okay, for example, we are Yorubas, right? I don't know how other languages are, but like French, let's speak French. In French language, you have the word tu or vous. Tu or vous. Tu means you, as if you are my equal, right? But vous means you as well, but you who is with honor, with respect. Like in English language, you is just you, right? But but there are some languages that have, like in Russian language, te means just you, like you are my mate. Then you have ve, which means like vous in Russian, in the French language, which means you as well, but with honor, with respect. The same thing in my language. In Yoruba language, we have ẹ̀yin. I think ẹ̀yin means you, but with respect, and I don't remember the other one. Yeah, I think the other one is ìwọ. Ìwọ means you too, but with no honor, like two, or like te, instead of with one honor. So shiga is say in Spanish two is okay. I think it's two, right? What about the other one? Two is te, right? Is two, like in French. What about with respect, vous? You are like ve in Yoruba language is okay. In Spanish, it is, Christina is saying, is tú and usted. Usted? Ust. Okay, I got it. Yeah. So in our own family, for example, we don't use ìwọ to each other. We don't use te to each other. No. So when we speak Yoruba language or we are relating to each other in Yoruba, we use ẹ̀yin. We don't use ìwọ. So it's not just, but in my culture, where I come from, in some family, even though people use that vous in the family, but it is normally the woman that is using vous or ẹ̀yin to the husband, and the husband will be saying or you te to will be saying so he will be saying, she will be saying ẹ̀yin, and he will be saying ìwọ. But I think it's not fair. I think it must be both respectful. It must be both respectful, and it must be both with respect and honor. So I think a woman deserves honor as much as a man does, and so it will help you as a man, whoever you are. If you are married or you are not married, take that decision. You will see it will help you. Always honor your wife. Always honor your wife. Now, another thing I want to say about respect and honor for the wife and for the woman, please, this might cause a lot of controversy, this thing I'm about to say, and a lot of people might disagree with it. But let me just say it the way it is. This is what I believe. I personally believe that you should not respect any man, any human, anybody else more than you respect your wife. I think you should place your wife in such a place of honor, so much that in your heart you have more respect to your wife than you have to your pastor. You must respect your wife more than you respect your pastor. You must respect your wife more than you respect your bishop or your GO or whoever, the people you respect in your life. With our religious mindset, that might be strange, because I know that people in families, when you get to a place, when you begin to respect your pastor or your GO more than your wife, it will get to a place whereby your GO or your pastor is telling you, leave your family and go to Kaduna and just go and stay there for a year. And you will just leave your wife. There are cases like that I've heard about. I mean, anything the pastor tells this man, the man will just, he will not even consult with the wife. He will just go and do it. Why? Because the pastor says so. Do you know there are some families whereby the man will just bring all his money, all his tithe and offering, and he will just take it to the church? Why? Because the pastor called for offering, or the pastor called for for some giving or for some projects or something. So the man will take all the money and take it to the church. And this woman with her children or with her child or with her baby that is still breastfeeding, she is left at home, and when she asked the husband, where is your salary? We agree to do this, or we agree to do that, we agree to do this. And it will be saying, well, why? Oh, don't talk. You don't have the right to talk. Why? Because I took it to church, or the pastor said this. And then the woman also will be thinking, oh, okay, since it's the pastor, I don't want him to begin to think that I'm against God, or I'm against the church, or I'm against pastor. I don't want him to report me to the pastor or something. So I think that this is a question you must settle for yourself, that there is no human being that you will respect more than your spouse, that you will respect your spouse, you will respect your husband, your wife, more than you are respecting your pastor. You must, because it's your family. If you don't do that, a lot of things will come out of order. I mean, there is a denomination in Nigeria that I have seen so many cases of this, whereby the pastor will just wake up one day and say, okay, I transfer you to Kaduna. They have 5 children, or they have 3 children, or they have 5 or 2 children, and the woman is just panicking. What will I do now? What will I do? She cannot do anything. Not one denomination. I think there are even many. There is a friend of mine that had 5 children, and they kept on transferring him because he was a pastor in this denomination. They kept on before they were transferring him every 2 years, every 2 years. Then they started transferring him every 6 months. With 5 children, this woman just lost her mind, and she got to psychiatric hospital because the husband will not listen to her. The husband will say, the church said, the man of God said, the bishop said, the GO said this. So she lost it. She ended up in the psychiatric hospital. Another family friend of mine, where this doctrine is there, that the pastor is almost like God, the church is almost like God. So in the wife, they don't even consult with the wife. They don't even care for the wife. This family also had 5 children, and they will be transferring him in their own denomination every 2.5 years or so, every 2 years, transferring. So they will be changing school. Can you imagine how many schools you have to be changing? So they will be changing school. This lady got so frustrated because the children couldn't study, and the children were, they were just becoming nuisance. She couldn't cope. So she just packed all the 5 children, and just left that. She just left the ministry, she left the man. And, we tried to convince her. She said, I would rather go to hell than live like this. I'm already in hell. So I don't, if this is God, if this is Jesus, if this is the Christianity, I don't want to, I would rather go to hell than this kind of Christianity. We don't want that kind of, and the basic reason for that is that husbands don't think it is proper, or they have not been taught to know that they must respect their partners. They've not been taught to know that they must respect their partners even more than they respect their pastors. Some of us have elevated the role of our pastors to almost the role of God, or the role of our denomination almost to the role of God. And anyway, a word is enough for the wise. I hope anybody who needs this will hear it. But I think your family must come first. Your family must come first before the church. Okay, let me see what is the time. My God, I wanted to give 5 points. Ooh. Okay. But I think these were important points that I've given. My time is up, so I will probably give the rest of the points in the evening. But in the evening, I will try to give 5 points. Maybe I shouldn't even promise, so that, I promise and then I can't fulfill. Anyway, I will try to be giving more than 1 point. At least it's now better. I was able to give 2 points today. Every day I was giving 1 point only before, but now at least I was able to give 2. So maybe in the evening I'll be better a little bit. I'll be able to give more points. Wow, the time is going so fast. Well, let's go ahead. If you have not yet shared the link to this message, please go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and share the link, please. Let's go ahead and share the link. And write some comments. Write some of your remarks and some comments on the link that you are going to share. Let's go ahead and write some comments on it. And Let's go ahead and write some comments. Let's write some comments and some, yes. Let's go ahead and write some comments and especially on the thing we are sharing, so that people who are seeing it will be able to know that it's what, if you think it will be a blessing to people, so that people who will come to your timeline, who will see the video, will be able to watch it. Meanwhile, let me see what you are writing. Let me see what you are writing. Let me see what you people are writing here. Gladys Nwosu says, my husband don't call me by my name. So one day I asked him, what is my name? He says Gladys, and asked why. I said, because he never called me by my name. He laughed without saying anything. Now I know why. Because my ex-husband never called me other name but by my name. Fumi Onifade said, I relate to my husband without any, but I still talk to him, and my conversation carries a lot of respect, sir. Maybe, but I just told you my own experience from my own family. I decided, this is my decision. I decided to do that in my own family because it helps me better. It helps me better, and I think if men will respect their wives like that and use any or vous, I think it brings a new level of relationship. Well, that is what I've discovered in my own life, but anybody could do as they wish. Murunde says, respect and honor your wife and be faithful to her. Yes. TY says, okay, we should respect our spouse above all. Yes, I so love you for this, sir. Good. Davida said, yes, that is very important to a woman, that she's respected above all. Noel Okushuku is saying, Pastor, you don't nail her. I think that's concerning the fact that you should respect your wife above the pastor and above church. So he's screaming here. He's screaming here. If you do that, it will improve your family. It will improve your family. It will improve your family relationship. Jefferson says, that is so true. We cannot respect our pastors more than our spouses. Yes. Augustine Ajayi said, this is 100% correct. Marianne said, wow, appreciate. Afolabi said, yes, true talk. Nkiru said, very true, sir. Elizabeth says, wow, even some of the pastors have no respect for their wives. That's so sad. Global Lactimi says, it is more common among women, not men, that women respect their pastors more than they respect their husbands. I think that is a problem also. I think the women too must respect their husbands more than they respect their pastors. I think if we put it like that as a standard, that the most important person in my life will be my spouse, my husband, and my wife, it has to be two ways. It has to be two ways. Angela Paul said there are men who wouldn't tell their wives how much they earn, but can tell their pastors and even give them everything, all in the name of partnership. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I think we should change. Fumilayo says, Pastor, if you preach this in Nigeria, they will tell you you are too long in Europe. They expect women to call their husband their daddy. Ooh, okay. Oh, wow. Are you serious? A woman should be calling the husband. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought it must be mutual respect. I think it's not just the woman that should be kneeling down before the husband and calling him daddy. I think the husband also needs to find a way of honoring that wife. I think it should be both ways. Elizabeth says, I have seen firsthand some pastors holding big Bible yet disrespecting their wives. Bola Luro said, a pastor told the husband that he saw a vision that the woman is fornicating and they may divorce the woman without even finding out if it is true or not. They had 4 kids, and today the woman is hawking kerosene just to train the children to school. My God. So a man told the wife that he saw a vision that the woman was committing adultery, and so he divorced her without even finding out if that is true or not. So the desperate woman now is just hawking kerosene outside. My God. Wow. Bola Luro, if you know the contact of that woman, could you write the contact here or write the contact to us or our telephone? Maybe somebody on this platform might want to support that woman. Precious Ungwu said, I did that because I was told that the bishop is in control of my marriage and the wife is my mother-in-law, which was worse. Okay, maybe she wrote something I didn't see. Cecile said, my husband said, who is disagree with this is crazy. Okay, my husband said, whoever disagrees with this is crazy. Well, thank God. Tim Dotun says, Apostle Dotun says, African men, we have to change our boss mentality and imbibe the biblical injunction to honor our wives, right? Fumi Jeboda said, Oluwa Nifishe, the Lord has need of him. Of who? I don't understand. Afolabi Victor said, women do the same thing. They take all the money to the church without telling their husbands. Well, that also must be corrected. Noel says, do you know I sold all my appliances and generator to the church? Wow, without allowing my wife to freely consent? She actually consented because she was playing Steve's role as a good wife. Oh my God, honey, you are a good lady, but you have to apologize to her and to your family because you are making your family destitute. You are making the Bible says he that does not provide for his family, first of all, is more than an infidel. You must put the need of your family first before the need of the church. So you don't let the church brainwash you to the extent of taking things from your family and going to give to the church when you might need that thing yourself. TY is saying, wow, Dr. Adelaja, this thing you are saying is a big issue. A pastor left and the church called him a woos. I don't know what a woos means. But he put his family first and started his own branch, and God blessed him. Davida said the church in Nigeria do not have value for human persons, but they do for people in authority. Yeah, that's so sad. Yetunde said our families are our number one and first ministry. Yes. TY says, my mentor, coach, and succinct teacher, we cannot thank God for you enough. May heaven remember you so that even your posterity after you are blessed. Love you big, sir. Noel says, I have noticed that anytime we agree on a seed together, my wife and I get tremendous result. Yeah, you need to agree. And not just make her to agree because she needs to play along, but she has to agree with her heart. Bidemi says, you are a super coach, Pastor. Love you, sir. Thank you. Gregory Femi says, I think this is so true because women in my church will go down on their knees to greet me one day. One day I called them all and asked how many of you go down on your knees to greet your husband. Almost all of them don't, and I know that from today, if you don't kneel and talk to your husband from today, no more that is correct coming to the church. No, I think that's a little bit different. I don't think a woman needs to be kneeling down before her husband at home. No, I don't think she doesn't need to do that. But she might kneel down before you as an authoritative, as an authority figure, just to greet you and appreciate you. That's okay. So this one is a little bit different. It's a little bit different from what I'm saying. You might respect your husband and your wife and make them to be the most respected people in your life, but that doesn't mean that you are kneeling down to them or you are prostrating to them. That's not. I'm not talking about the outward manifestation of it. I'm talking about in attitude, in relations. You know what people do when they are kneeling down and prostrating? That doesn't really mean respect. That's just, outward appearance. So I don't think that the fact that they are kneeling down to you as a pastor, that doesn't really mean they respect you. How many times do we kneel down and prostrate before elders, but we don't respect those elders? But what I'm talking about is real honor and respect in your heart to your spouse and your husband. Tayo Peter says, God bless you, Pastor. This needs to be requested as often as possible. The attack on homes these days are horrible, and ignorance is the key reason. Yeah, that's why I think you should go ahead and press the share button so that you could get a copy of this message. So if you press the share button, you'll get a copy and you'll be able to watch it as many times as you want, and you'll be able to download it for yourself as well. Olugbenga Oyekon says, God bless you, Pastor, lots of love. Noel says, oh, my wife is a good woman. Even when she wants to disagree, she doesn't, but keeps her cool and allows me to have my way. Oh, Ifemi, I'm sorry. Love you, baby. Yeah, but even though you are happy with her, that she's a good woman, she wants to disagree but keeps quiet. But what you don't know is that is affecting her health. That is affecting our hormones, and that is affecting our nervous system, and that is affecting our, circulation, balance, and hormonal balance, and that could be dangerous to her. That, those things could be dangerous to her health. So, she has to live. A woman has a need to live in hormonal balance all the time. She needs to be in peace. She needs to have peace of mind. She doesn't need that stress. And when she's thinking something, she wants to do something, and she has to suppress it. The more she's suppressing her emotions, the more she's suppressing her feelings, the more frustrated she becomes, the more unhappy she becomes. And if she's not happy, the more sickly she becomes, the more destructive she becomes, the more damaging that becomes to her. So you don't be rejoicing that, oh, my wife, she's feeling bad, but she's keeping quiet, she's able to control herself, but that is killing her gradually. So don't get her to a place where she has to put up with things that she doesn't really agree with. Gift Amos says, this is very true, sir. Kelly Sunshine says, this is mostly common in African churches. They expect you to kiss their backside. Oh, wow. We have mixed Christianity. We have mixed Christianity with culture. Ufuoma says, a lot of us don't know this. We didn't know this. God, family, and then church. But most people have placed their churches above their family. And this is killing families. This is so sad. Yeah. Christina Lampe says, with these teachings, the world will be transformed to a better world as exercising kingdom principles. Davida said, biblical respect must be mutual, right? Thanks for teaching this, Pastor Sunday. Serious realignment. Adeola Disu says, some of these ministers don't have respect for family values or development, and if wife speaks up, she is reprimanded for not submitting. When children start acting up, they blame the parents. Chris Ogedengbe said, please let me know who the woman is. I will want to help her and her children. Get my contacts from Dr. Adelaja. Unkiro Ojimadu said, Daddy and Mommy, I don't want my husband to call me Mommy. Or neither will I call him Daddy. Fumilayo Agape said, Pastor, is it proper for husband and wife calling themselves my baby? Because I think it's not right. It's their own right. I think every family must decide for themselves. I don't like that myself. I think I want to use the word that is much more honorable on daily basis. But calling my wife baby in front of my children, I would not like to. But if it's okay for the family, why not? Every family decides for themselves. Okay, Bola Luro, she has put the telephone number of that woman that the pastor husband chased away with 4 children, who is now selling kerosene. The telephone number is here already, 234 plus 234, that's Nigerian code, and the telephone is 7061970294. Is Bola who has written the telephone here. So if you need it, please let somebody go ahead and contact that woman and let her help her out. Yetunde Awolesi says, I respect you, Dr. Adelaja. You are so on point. I hope our African men will learn a great deal. They are the ones who expect so much respect because they feel it's their right and are not bothered to give back. Unkiro Jimadu said, if my husband only knew all I took to church, chai, God have mercy on me. Daniel Oshoma said, men are husband, father, brother, best friend. Please let us listen to our wives because they care for the interest of the family. We should learn to understand our wives. Ojo Olakwe says, if two have become one, and yet there is a dichotomy in how respect is given from and to either spouse, then division of marriage has begun. The divorce papers is just a formality. Thank you, sir, for teaching us this deep truth. We are indeed all blessed. God bless you, sir. Gift says, the Shunammite woman acknowledged the fact that her husband needed to be approved of her building a house for a man of God. That means and shows she honors her man than any human, either your mentor or your pastor. Yeah. Princess says, a pastor once asked me to call my husband just pastor. And Paul Eric, my husband, said immediately, no, because she's my wife. So she can call me honey. Noel says, this message is a flight better than a private jet treatment. Layo said, Marriage Clinic 101. Today's session is basically for fixing or repairing damaged marriages and for perfecting even those marriages that are good already. Pastor, thank you for these tips. Fumi Jeboda, God bless and your sis. God bless you and your sis, Pastor, for helping our generation and those coming after us with all this wonderful life-changing truth. Noel says, yes, you are right. When she keeps things to heart and gets heart pain, and that kills me, honestly. Now I know the cause of that pain. Jefferson Uzoma said, even our definition of a good woman is warped. Just because we associate a woman who suppresses her emotions to be good is horrible. Just because she's not speaking out doesn't mean she's happy. Yeah. Daniel Oshoma said, it's better a woman talks than keep quiet. The quiet ones are unpredictable. Please let us as men give our wives the peace of mind to bring out the best in them. Yes. Yetunde says, I was talking to a sister yesterday and I told her about how different you have trained me to be in the past 6 months or thereabout. I just can't stop talking about you and inviting people to this platform. I believe you are God sent. This marriage series is a bomb. I am loving every bit of it. Jefferson said, there are a lot of work to be done on us men, sir. We need serious help. Our view of women and who they are to us seriously need to change. And that mentality is the cause of imbalance in the society. Yep. Mariam Abha says, these are heaven on earth teachings. Thank you. Well, it's been nice being with you guys. And I'll be back tonight. Back tonight. Come back tonight and give you some more points on what women expect to see in their husbands. God bless you guys. Bye.